put that down, please?
Now!
Stop!
These are the craziest moments when criminals attack police officers. On Friday, April 29th, 2022, around 3:30 p.m., New York State Police and the Hyde Park Police responded to a physical domestic at a residence on North Cross Road. The police said they initially successfully de-escalated a dispute between 34-year-old Jamie Faith and her partner at the home. As the officers interviewed Faith, she armed herself with a knife and attempted to stab the officers. An officer deployed a taser before Hyde Park officer Kemledge fired 2 shots, knocking Faith to the floor. The video ends just after he yells at Kemledge not to kill him as well. Faith was pronounced dead at the scene. On April 27th, 2023, Oklahoma City Police were called to a residence regarding a domestic incident involving suspect, 26-year-old D'Angelo Wright. A background check found that Wright also had 2 active felony warrants for kidnapping and aggravated assault and battery. During the first 2 responses to the apartment by officers, Wright left before officers arrived. Wright was at the apartment in the 3rd response when the officer shown in this video attempted to speak with him when he brutally attacked the officer, knocking her unconscious and causing serious injuries. The suspect continued to attack SGT violently. During the violent assault, a witness attempted to intervene, and she was attacked by Wright, who then left just moments before additional officers arrived at the scene. OKCPD officers arrested Wright hiding in a laundry room at an apartment. He faces charges of aggravated assault on an officer, domestic assault, and battery by strangulation and disrupting an emergency phone call. The officer, hurt, was released a while later from the hospital, according to police officials. Court documents indicated the officer suffered a possible skull fracture, orbital fracture, concussion, fractured jaw, and several broken teeth. Wright was held on a $10 million bail. On August 12, 2023, an officer was working a normal routine shift when she responded just after 6:30 a.m. to a home. The report was that there was excessive noise and glass breaking. After parking her cruiser and approaching the home on foot, the officer was confronted by 52-year-old Winston Tate. Holding a hammer in his right hand, Tate exited the home and began walking toward the officer.
Back up, come up. Stop! Stop!
Footage shows the officer asking Tate to put the hammer down multiple times before he begins charging at her. She screams for him to stop as he continues charging toward her and pushes her to the ground before attacking her. Tate can be heard screaming in pain as he continues to attack the officer, even though the officer shot him several times. Tate was wounded during the gunfire and retreated into the home. He ran back home into the basement, and they were both taken to the hospital. Tate was released from the hospital 2 days later and has been held on $850,000 bond. On June 30th, 2024, at 7:25 a.m., Xenia Green Central Communications received a 911 call.
Yeah, I opened my door and he pointed it at me.
Do you know who it is?
His name is Kyle. See what his last name is. Blevins, Blades, something like that.
Okay. Does he live there?
He lives at 190 apartment 2.
So he's in a parking lot, like shooting a pistol, what, up in the air?
It looked like he was pointing it straight out, and then I opened my door and I was like, what the hell are you doing? And he turned around and he pointed it at me.
Oh my gosh. Kyle something.
As officers 1 and 2 arrive, the suspect, 23-year-old Kyle Berry, is rounding the corner of the apartments and pointing his gun at senior police. The apartment manager in the parking lot then runs into the apartment building. As Officer 3 exits his cruiser, he commands for Berry to drop his gun. These commands were not followed by Berry, and as Officers 1 and 2 approach, Berry points his weapon at the officers. Shots were fired by officers and Berry was injured. A Yakimba semi-automatic pistol was recovered from the scene. Berry was transported to the hospital for medical attention and has since been released to the Greene County Jail. Bail was set at $500,002 cash.